It's hard to believe Drake would resort to filing a lawsuit as a way to change the narrative and deflect attention from Kendrick Lamar's latest album, GNX. But considering all he's been through this year, it's really no surprise he has decided to make it a tale of if you can't beat them, sue them. What Drake didn't realize is that GNX is already being labeled a proper classic, and no matter the negativity he tries to throw in the mix, every single track on that album will only blow up even more. There's a chance you've already screamed along to Mustard today, haven't you? We know you have. The buzz around GNX isn't slowing down, and early signs suggest this project will go down as one of Kendrick's finest. The sheer quality and replay value of this project are undeniable, and the numbers back it up. If this were any other artist that released such an iconic project, they'd likely be basking in their win somewhere, but Kendrick isn't like most. He's cut from a different cloth. Instead of sitting back to celebrate, he's already gearing up for the next chapter in his career. Fans knew GNX would shake things up, but few could have predicted just how much drama it would cause. From Lil Wayne's pointed jabs to Drake's legal antics, Kendrick's latest work is rattling the industry. Yet K-Dot remains unfazed, laser focused on his next mission to cement his legacy as the GOAT. Kendrick dropped some major hints throughout GNX about an even bigger project in the works, and now we've got confirmation. He's been cooking up something special, and it's going to be massive. GNX was just the opening act of what would be an incredible movie. According to these fresh updates, we now have an idea of the timeline for K-Dot's next release, and let's just say, we're not even close to ready for what's coming next. But before we dive deeper, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. It's a small gesture that goes a long way. Now, Kendrick has always been synonymous with major hits, but the impact of GNX is something extraordinary. This is more than just an album. It's a timeless masterpiece that cements his legacy. Albums like this almost always become evergreen, etched in stone forever. Despite releasing GNX at the rear end of what has been a historic year in hip-hop, the numbers this album is raking in speak for themselves. Each track is pure quality, and the album has been breaking records left and right since its surprise release. With the way things are shaping up, it doesn't look like the momentum is slowing down anytime soon. What's even more intriguing about this whole situation is that GNX is nowhere near the end point of what Kendrick is trying to achieve. It's more like an intro to launch a new era, the era of total dominance. When you listen closely to this album, the message becomes clearer. This is the start of something new. K-Dot is the pioneer of hip-hop's reincarnation. Every doubter or hater should get in line or they will get left behind. When this album first came out, some of the people who worked on it gave some subtle hints that K-Dot might have more on the way. But a lot of fans were a bit skeptical about how true it is that Kendrick's got something else cooked already. Well, we've got news for you. Something huge is indeed coming. Several sources that are directly connected to the inner circles of Kendrick's PG Lang and Top Dawg Entertainment have just officially confirmed the king is not done, he's only just begun. The buzz grew even louder during a recent Instagram live session between the iconic West Coast spokesperson DJ Head and TDE veteran Ab-Soul. For those who don't know, Ab-Soul isn't just a member of TDE. He's been there from the very beginning of Kendrick's journey, and the pair remain tighter than ever. When the question about Kendrick's next move popped up on the live session between the pair, the rapper had some interesting things to say. While applauding Kendrick's achievements and his undeniable impact on the culture, the duo dropped a subtle but significant bombshell. But the most captivating part of the session was DJ Head's conclusion. He said, quote, "One thing I'll say is this homie ain't done. This is what Kendrick is on. You can take that however you want," end quote. Ab-Soul didn't hesitate to back up the statement, solidifying what fans have been hoping for. A massive new project is officially on its way. But that's not all we've uncovered so far. There's even more buzz surrounding GNX. Some of the indigenous West Coast rappers featured on the album have been hitting the interview circuit since its release, but one interview in particular stood out. Lefty Gunplay, who dropped a fiery verse on TV Off, the 7th track of the album and an undeniable banger, shared an intriguing rumor. Lefty revealed he heard Kendrick's got a Deluxe album raring to go already. These comments from Lefty effectively suggest Kendrick isn't quite done with the GNX era yet, but he still has a little bit more spice to add to an already spicy sauce. Now, while some fans are skeptical about a Deluxe album, others think it's the logical next move Kendrick could make. But here's the thing. Kendrick is notorious for keeping his plans tightly under wraps, even from those he works closely with, and while he probably recorded different songs with many of these young artists, there's a big chance they don't have a clue about his next moves. It's entirely possible that Lefty heard some unreleased tracks during their studio sessions that just didn't make it on GNX. He's probably just connecting the dots and speculating about what's next. However, that doesn't mean a Deluxe album is coming. Classic Kendrick rarely reveals his hand until it's time. Now, this fresh rumor about a Deluxe album just doesn't have enough information yet to back it up to be true, but on second thought, what do you think about the second car in the GNX trailer video? There's a chance that the second car is indicating that there's GNX Part 2. Knowing Kendrick's love of cryptic messages, it's hard to completely dismiss this idea. But if you dig deeper into GNX, the chances of a Deluxe album feel less likely. Even though Kendrick spits some bars like double back like a Deluxe, it doesn't necessarily mean a Deluxe is on the horizon. With Kendrick, the obvious answer is rarely the right one. Now, the real hidden gem in all this is the inclusion of the Heart Part 6 on the album. Hardcore Kendrick fans know this is no small detail. Historically, every installment of the Heart series has served as a precursor to a major album release. From the Heart Part 1 to the Heart Part 5, this pattern has been consistent throughout Kendrick's career. If this trend holds true, the next time we hear Kendrick's voice, it'll likely be on a groundbreaking new project. Breaking this sequence would go against everything Kendrick has built his legacy on, and if there's one thing we can count on, it's his consistency. Now, while a GNX Deluxe album seems unlikely, hip-hop fans are buzzing after Joe Budden dropped a major revelation about Kendrick's next move during a recent episode of his popular podcast. Known for his industry connections and access to exclusive intel, Budden spilled some behind-the-scenes details that have everyone talking. According to him, Lil Wayne reached out to Kendrick after being name-dropped on the intro track Whacked Out Murals. When Kendrick didn't respond, Wayne reportedly hit the studio. Whether the result is a Kendrick diss track or not remains unclear, but if it is, the hip-hop world could be on the verge of an epic clash, the kind of heavyweight showdown everyone would love to witness. A Kendrick versus Wayne battle? That's the kind of rivalry that would be legendary. Budden also hinted at having heard snippets that didn't make it onto GNX, further fueling speculation that Kendrick has another project locked and loaded. And from everything we've heard so far, this new album is shaping up to be even bigger than GNX. If we thought this body of work was amazing, we're going to be blown away by this upcoming project. While GNX leaned more into the West Coast sound, insider reports are saying this new album is more dynamic and diverse, crossing boundaries and pushing the envelope in true Kendrick fashion. If all this hype is anything to go by, this upcoming project by Kendrick might be his best work yet, which says a lot, especially when you consider the records GNX is already setting. While we can't always take what everyone in the industry says at face value, the truth is all of these clues are pointing at the same thing, and that certainly doesn't qualify as a coincidence anymore. Remember the snippet of the song Kendrick previewed during the GNX rollout trailer? Well, that brief glimpse showcased a sound world apart from the West Coast heavy vibe of the album. It was unique, exciting, and nothing short of mesmerizing, hinting at the versatility Kendrick has in store. At this point, we could say we have a distinct idea about what this new album by Kendrick will be like, but don't hold us to it because K-Dot is so mysterious and the thought of knowing what he'll do for sure is just fantasy. His unpredictability is part of his genius, and one of the reasons he remains untouchable in the rap game. But when you piece together everything we know so far, the hints in GNX, Joe Budden's revelations, and the whispers from credible sources, it all points to one conclusion. This album is ready. Kendrick's inclusion of the Heart Part 6 on GNX is the clearest signal yet. Historically, every installment in the Heart series has heralded a major album, and it doesn't look like this tradition is changing. For longtime fans, that's the ultimate confirmation that K-Dot's next masterpiece is just around the corner. As the year wraps up, one thing is clear. Kendrick Lamar has 2024 on lock. GNX continues to dominate every chart across genres, cementing Kendrick's status as the hottest artist of the year. Every track from Euphoria to Not Like Us and Squabble Up have become a global anthem. It's been all hit and no miss for K-Dot this year, and nobody comes close. Given its momentum, it's safe to say Kendrick won't be dropping his next album in the coming weeks. Instead, he'll likely let GNX keep smashing records and redefining what it means to release a hip-hop album. That said, predicting K-Dot's next move is like trying to catch lightning in a bottle. The most plausible timing for his new album would be early 2025, right before the Super Bowl and Grammy seasons. Performing at the Super Bowl in New Orleans next year will most certainly be the grandest stage Kendrick has ever found himself in his career. While he has performed at a halftime show, he's never been a headliner, and this time, that's exactly what he's going to be. The Super Bowl halftime show has been reported to be viewed by over 100 million people on average, and with this potential audience, there's never going to be a more perfect moment to release an album. Adding to the anticipation, Kendrick is planning a stadium tour post-Super Bowl, with dates potentially overlapping with Coachella 2025, where he's rumored to headline. Given his packed schedule, releasing the album in the winter makes strategic sense. Artists often prefer to release albums a few months before major tours, giving fans time to connect with the music and build excitement for live performances. Kendrick Lamar undoubtedly has the key to the kingdom now, and with his unmatched creativity, he can dictate his own timeline. Our best prediction is that he will release the lead single to the album somewhere between January and February of 2025. With the way things are shaping up, there's a chance this major single is going to be more massive than Not Like Us, which says a lot about the immense potential of this upcoming album. With the hype that's going to follow his Super Bowl performance, K-Dot will most likely release this album moments after, which is probably the most perfect time he could ever release a project. So what do you think about these speculations surrounding Kendrick's second album? Does the inclusion of the Heart Part 6 on GNX convince you a new project is on the horizon? Let us know in the comments. If you made it this far, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more hip-hop updates and exclusive insights. We'll see you next time.